Hey guys, you're watching the one and only. My name is AJ, and we're back on another useful redstone. And this time we're back in our little mini town of only 2 houses, and we're doing farms, as you've seen from the title of the video. And we've got 4 different farms set up here, and they're all really useful. They're all different designs, and I know before I start, there's a lot of different ways that you can do farms, and these might not be the most efficient ways, but these are the coolest looking ways, and they're fairly light on redstone. You don't end up using a ton of redstone for it. So, our first one is the wheat farm, and we've got some pressure plates on here, and you'll see why in a second. But basically, we can hit this button, and it harvests them all. We can collect them all, and jump in and get the rest. And we can simply then replant, let them grow, or bone meal them, and hit the button again. These pressure plates are here so the water doesn't come flooding out over onto us. And yeah, so we'll go through how to make them in a second. We're just showing you each one at the moment. So let's go to the pumpkin ones next. So this one, as you know, pumpkins and melons grow on a stalk. So we've got the stalks behind here. You can't quite see them until I activate it, but we've got the stalks behind there, and they've all grown forward. We've put them in a position where they have to grow forward, so you always get a really nice line of pumpkins or melons in a straight line. It's a really effective way for that. And when we hit the button on this one, the blocks come up from underneath and harvest them like that. And it doesn't affect the actual plant at all, so they just grow back. In fact, they'll probably grow back by the time we finish off the episode. So our next one here is the Sugarcane Farm. Very simple one here. We can push the button, and it harvests them all, and we can collect them all without affecting the bottom one, so you don't have to replant them. And our last one here is not a very common one, I suppose, but it's the nether wart. This would work with the wheat design, but I thought we'd go for the one final design with this one, so we can push the button, and it shifts the soul sand across and back again with 2 pistons here and here. So it just pushes the soul sand that way and then back again. And we can do it like that. One fell behind there. So, yeah, very, very simple 4 designs here. We're going to run through them nice and quickly how to build them. We'll start off with the wheat one, because that's most commonly used. Okay, so we're going to take our time. We're not going to rush through it like I seem to usually do with the redstone builds. I'm going to try and do it as slow as possible so you guys can fully follow what I'm doing. So, we have our source of water here. And we've got our 5 blocks. I'm doing it 5 blocks long because it's a nice demonstration size. But you can make your row of farm as long as you want, as long as you've got enough redstone and pistons to cover this design. So these will slowly hydrate up. You might need to hoe them a couple of times, especially up this end one, if it doesn't hydrate straight away. But they will eventually all hydrate. And the next step we're going to want to do is put some pistons down. So you're going to dig one down and replace them with pistons like so. Hello JC, you seem to pop up on all my videos. So we've got some wood on top of these pistons here. And by default these pistons will be up. A voice crack. So you're going to put a repeater into each one of those pistons. And then run a redstone lead. Now, before you comment saying that there's an easier way to do this, yes, there is other ways you can do it, but this is the most simplest design for me to use on a tutorial with these repeaters going into the pistons like this. It's just nice and easy to follow. So yeah, we can now turn this on. We want this to be on by default to cover up the water, because our water is going to sit behind here. So to do that, we're going to put our block down. I used logs on my build, but we'll use wood for all this. So we've got our button. We're going to invert the signal and bring it out. We can now take away that torch. So now when we push the button, push the button. I think I said it funny then. We push the button, and it doesn't do anything. We can push the button. Yeah. Did I push it? I don't know if I even pushed it last time. Alright, let's hold that again, and that'll hydrate. So yeah, that'll drop down and come back out. This gives it just enough time for the water behind it to wash the product towards you, and then close back up. So we can now make our container for the water, stick the water in there, and what we're going to want to do now is close them off. We can hide that water now, and over here we can bring this over, Still hasn't hydrated. Just put some, if it doesn't fully hydrate on yours, it's been getting some bugs. Water should hydrate 7 blocks out, but I know sometimes it can be a bit funny. But if you just put a seed on it and bone meal it, it won't go away. Like so. So yeah, what we've got to do now is get some pressure plates. It's probably the simplest way. Pushing pressure plates along so the water doesn't come rushing out around your feet. The pressure plates are there just to stop the water. So that's it. That's it for this design. It's nice and simple, nice and quick to do. And then we can push the button. Washes it towards you. And then you can collect it all up and replant again. So you can tidy this up and hide it in any way you want. I think it looks pretty neat how it is. Like this. It does look pretty cool. So we're going to move on to the next design now. On to the pumpkins and melons. Okay, so we're going to do melons and pumpkins next. So we're going to start off in the same way. We're going to place our 5 blocks to grow our stuff on. And make our source block to hydrate. We're probably going to have the same problem. This one isn't going to fully hydrate. It should do because it does 7 blocks out, but it doesn't sometimes. I don't really know. I don't know what to say about that. But what we want to do is we want to plant. Actually, let's plant first. Bone meal. We might as well get them growing, huh? Boop, 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 boop. Flawless. Okay, so what we're going to want to do is we want to actually force these to grow forward. I know when you're doing sort of manual, normal farms, the pumpkins and melons can sort of grow in any direction. And it can mess up the farm. It doesn't look all that tidy. But we want this to be as efficient as possible. So we're going to dig down one and put your pistons in front. This time it was behind for the wheat one. We put it in front. You enjoying it, pig? I hope you're enjoying it. We'll put some dirt along the front. We'll do dirt for now. And yeah. What we can do now is find these pistons down below. And we're going to hook this same way, hook this up the same way as last time. We're going to put some repeaters along and get our redstone. Oops. Like so. In fact, yeah, we should be able to bring it out to there. So we can stick our block down. Now, this time we don't want to invert it. We just want it to go straight in. If we invert it, they'll be up at all times. So we don't want that. We've already had one grow, so we can test it out. Boop. And we got a pumpkin. As you can see, it hasn't affected our stalks at all, and they'll just grow back. So you can cover this up in any way you want. I don't really need to cover it up on a demonstration. I'm sure you guys can figure out to make it all look pretty how you want to on your world. So, on to the next one. Okay, so our next one is sugarcane. Now, sugarcane is even easier than last one. We're going to go with sand this time, so it's a little bit different. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I hope you're enjoying these farms, by the way. They're nice and simple. That's why I'm doing them, because they're very simple designs. There are very complicated ways you can do it, but we're going to do it simple. Oh, yeah. Now, a sugarcane needs a source block right next to it. So you're going to have your source row behind it. And then we can put our sugarcane down. We can now cover this up. The first row we never want to touch. We never want to punch this bottom row because we then have to plant them again. We want it to be semi-automated. So we can now bring our pistons up onto this level. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And our wood across. And we'll do the wood on the top just for it to look good. So basically what we're going to do is these pistons are going to activate and push it forward. And then any sugarcane from this height or above will be brought down. Now, in nature, in natural Minecraft, I don't think sugarcane ever grows more than 3 high, but you can stack them. So I don't think you need to go more than 3 high. I think in rare cases they may go 4, but don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure. So what we could do now is we can set this up. You know what, we'll do it in the same way as last time. It's a little bit wider than normal, but to keep it basic and use the techniques that we've used in the other farms, we're going to do it like this. And we can now bring this row down. We're going to have the button on the same side as normal as well. Boop, boop, boop. So, hook the line down, and it's as simple as that. We can now put our block on with our button. In fact, let's imagine that they've all grown. We can now press this button, and it harvests them all, doesn't touch the bottom ones, and we can just collect them all, stick them in our chest for all our potion brewing or paper for books and all that good stuff that sugarcane's needed for. So again, I'm not going to pretty it up. I'm sure you guys can pretty up in any other way you want. And on to the last one. Okay, and our last design is the nether wart one, and the reason why I've done the nether wart one in this way is because it uses normal pistons instead of sticky pistons. So if you ever got any slimes about or anything like that, you can use this design for the nether wart, the pumpkins, and the wheat. Will all work in this way. So this just requires a normal piston. So we're going to do it the same way. Our 5 blocks. At one end, the piston is going to be touching the soul sand. At the other end, you're going to leave a gap. We can now put our block with our button down. And we need some redstone. We can now lead our redstone down. Now, this design, you're going to need 3 repeaters. Because we want this piston to activate first. And then we want this piston to activate afterwards to push the blocks back, to push the soul sand back. So we're going to keep this as compact as possible. Like so. On this repeater, you're going to want to put it on maximum delay. On that repeater, you're going to leave it at normal. And then somewhere in the middle, you're going to want to put another one on a 3-tick delay. So, yeah, at that position there. So what we can do now is test it out. In fact, we'll put our nether wart down. And it pushes it. And it works absolutely fine. So we can now push it again. Now it's actually in the correct position. Pushes forward. Pushes back. Pushes forward, pushes back. So we're going to hide this one because obviously there's this gap here that you don't want to show. So to do that, you're just going to cover up here. We'll have 2 gap space so we can walk in there if we need. If one of them's just out of reach, like they always end up being. Like that. Nice and messy. I'm sure you guys can do a better job than me at cleaning up nice. So now it's all hidden. We've got 5 there. Push and push back. So downsides to this design is that it leaves a gap here. When I push this button, it leaves that gap, which as you can see, it just fell down behind. There it is there. That's the downside for this design, and there's not much you can do about it. There is certain ways that you can get around this, but because I like to keep these tutorials nice and simple, it's something that you're going to have to deal with, I'm afraid. You can look up other designs on farms if you like, a more complex farm, but this one uses hardly any redstone. You need no sticky pistons, it uses normal pistons, so it's very, very effective. To finish off then, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. I know that there are other ways to do farms before you start commenting saying, you can do it this way, you can do it that way. I do know. I just like to keep them simple, so everybody can follow them at all different skill levels of redstone. And you never know, even some experienced members of you might have found a new way that you can do stuff because you've been overthinking it, and you don't need to overthink them. Go simple. Redstone should be more simple than what it is, so keep it nice and simple, and we'll keep it like that. Now, before I start rambling on about something else, we're going to finish the episode off here. If you haven't already, please subscribe. I'm messing up my words all over the place. Yeah, subscribe, hit that like button, have fun, have a lollipop. You guys enjoyed me saying lollipop a few episodes ago on the massive builds, massive pixel art builds. I said lollipop in a funny way apparently, so yeah, lollipop. Yeah, that's about it, guys. I'm going to finish off. Bye! Worst ending ever.